Words are hard,
difficult.
man. Words are
very difficult,
challenging.
and my job is to
Yeah.
say words.
And not just any words, English words. English, sure. A lot of the world has ultimately moved to English as the default business language, but which is a very inaccurate statement, but fair enough for this
So I have
assessment.
I have
It's
this
fucking
annoying
sucks. It's
little
bad language.
quirk where if I'm in Portugal long enough, my internal monologue turns into Portuguese. So I start thinking in Portuguese, and then I come back to Canada, and suddenly I'm translating what I want to say.
Portuguese to English. Oh no!
Been there, done that with Polish. Same thing.
Jess with Croatian,
so I'm
same
sitting
thing.
here, like, am I gonna start randomly speaking Portuguese? Their DM has been cursed with tongues. He speaks gibberish.
Yep, it's true.
He's got the Oracle curse.
Right?
Exactly.
I cast comprehend
There you go.
languages, aka Google Translate.
My mother is a saint.
Say it in here, bro. Say it in here, bro.
But good. We are live, by the way, only for the last like 30 seconds. Just enough time for me to be like
go.
my weird Portuguese brain. Yeah, yeah. I've learned in the past that shadow living us isn't necessarily the best idea.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about? Nothing ever goes
Nothing.
wrong. We're fine.
The moment I saw the
We're totally
stream
PG
go
all the
live,
time.
I like spent the time trying to think of the most potentially offensive but not actually offensive
Oh,
anti-Portuguese
On the
joke.
PC
And I
line.
just
You
couldn't
want
come up
to
with
hear?
any.
You want to hear a
just-
joke?
They represent
The
themselves.
Portuguese. That's the joke.
Oh, done.
That's okay. I'm Portuguese. I can
That's
say
right.
that.
Something bureaucracy, something red tape,
Nah,
something
none of
something. See you in 9 months, dog.
None of that. No.
No, definitely not, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's
not even a
okay.
little bit.
I can say that. One of my friends thinks in
So
Portuguese
there's
sometimes.
this wonderful little so getting my daughter's birth registered in Portugal, right? You can do it really easily in the first year, right? Of her life. Now, the thing is with that, to get that service done, you have to get her name in a 3-year-long wait list.
Sounds about right.
Now, granted, that's just the Toronto consulate because it's busy. But like, boy,
Something like that's like that. We need you to have 10 years experience when you've been working for 5 years.
Yeah, we need you to have 10 years experience on AI. Didn't AI just come out?
yeah, right. No,
Did I stutter?
but
Yeah.
see, some guy talked about AI in the '80s, so
Yeah, of
excuse
course.
me, chatbot has been around. Or not chatbot. What's that stupid? The brain one. Did it a lot. Not
That IBM
yes, that's
computer.
right.
Like,
It's gonna come to me in a cold sweat, middle of the game. I'm just gonna be like, chatbot's name.
Alfred. Yeah,
Is that the one that beat the guy
No.
at Jeopardy? Deep
that's the
Blue?
one I'm referencing.
Deep Blue is Jeopardy.
Deep Blue's chess, isn't it?
Oh,
Same
okay.
as Stockfish. Stockfish is the current beast of a chess AI.
Okay.
Anyways.
It's
Anyways,
gonna bother me until
something pirates, something.
Dark
Oh,
side.
Cleverbot. That's the one.
Oh,
wow.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
man,
right.
wow, Cleverbot's UI has gotten quite an update here.
Cleverbot.
What
Wow.
do you
yeah.
think of Chat GPT?
Don't
Oh,
start
he's
the
gonna
entire
do
I
it.
don't
war.
know
He's
what
gonna
that
do it.
means.
Well, thank God chatbot is blissfully
Yep,
ignorant.
thank you, Cleverbot,
Yeah.
for being
better.
so
Or, yeah,
ahead of your
Cleverbot,
time
whatever.
15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, pirates.
Piracy.
So before we
Yar.
start, because it's been a month, I want to now, no cheating, guys, no cheating, because I know their tokens are on the screen, but I will give a hero point to the first person who can tell me the names of the old guy in the dungeon, the witch, and her familiar.
Shit.
I actually
I know
wrote this.
one 100%. I don't know that I remember the other two, and that's probably gonna
Just
kill
familiar
me.
with like a
The
penguin.
penguin dog
Penguin dog.
Penguin dog,
Yeah,
penguin.
what was its name? It had a
did
name.
have a name.
Can't remember her name. I asked you the name of the guy from the dungeon, so I'm not going to cheat at that.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew the guy from the dungeon was Edmund Oscar.
Yes.
That was a given. But the other two, oh god.
I'm pretty sure the Pupquin was Sloppy Joe. And
Was it Slappy Joe?
Slappy Joe. You're right. I misremembered. It was Slappy Joe. Thank
That
you.
isn't his name, but it sure as hell is now.
Yeah, 0 point. Yeah.
Started with an F, didn't it?
It did start with an F.
That's about all I remember.
And then her name is just gone.
Just-
Gone.
Yeah.
So,
I've been very lax about taking notes in
all
this
right,
game.
Yeah, I kind of have to.
before I reveal the answers, does anybody actually want to take a guess?
Well, the guy. Well, we know the guy in the dungeon.
Yeah.
But the witch in the familiar.
Right.
Calypso. Clearly,
Right.
is the witch's
Calypso.
name. Yes.
The familiar's Rack Pharaoh.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So, yes, Edmund Oscar, y'all got that. You guys got 1/3 of a hero point for that. Good job, everybody, all around.
Write it down. Mark that down.
0.3.
It's like, can we share our third so that
The familiar's name was Fink. The pumpkin. Who would have Fink?
Who'd have think?
And as for the witch's name, y'all never asked her name, so you didn't get it.
yeah, there you go.
You sneaky guy. This sneaky guy.
Of course.
It was all a trick.
I can't believe you've done this.
Comes out, she's Besmara. She's just like, God damn it, let him out again.
Besmar or something. Listen, I thought about that. But then I'm like, I already had one Calypso. I don't need second Calypso.
Yeah, right. Wait, I already forget the Pupquin's name. It was not
Fink.
Phil,
Fink.
but it definitely started with an F.
Fink.
Fink. I can't believe it. I even made the goddamn pun. Okay.
Who would have finked?
Beautiful.
You think, therefore you are.
Now, Tazik, are you prepared to be put on the spot?
I mean, I can do it last time on Let's Throw Dice.
All right. What happened last time on Let's Throw Dice? Because it's been a month, and frankly, I barely remember.
So last time on Let's Throw Dice, Tazik was stuck to the mimic door, and all hope was looked lost for our intrepid band of adventurers as their resources were at their limits. But thanks to some clever workings between Tazik and Eldon doing damage to the door, and Morgan and Quint working on crowd controlling it into submission and somehow keeping Tazik alive despite being hot glued to a door. We managed to overcome it and kill it heartily and then loot the room behind it. Tazik may have developed a small complex and has started shooting things that might be mimics. We continued on into the dungeon after looting that room and worked our way around to find Edmund Oscar in his. Actually, I think he was in the atrium. It wasn't in his room anymore. Talking to us, and he gave us some information about the 9 pieces of 8 that are cast around the shackles, and informed us that they are, in fact, part of Besmara's treasure, and potentially the key to get into the Eye of Terror, where all of the treasures that have ever been lost at sea have been collected within. Then he talked to us and learned that we knew of the location of a piece of 8, but it may be on the ocean floor, or it may be still somewhere in the possession of Harrigan. And he chided us for losing the potential access to it. And then he showed us a map where we have to search for to find the location of the last one. And he asked if he basically entrusted us to, or joined our crew and entrusted us to go along with him on this adventure because he wanted just one thing from the treasures of Besmara, the thing that was taken from him. And we were not fully positive. Well,
Whoa. Oh, yeah, there you go.
there we go. Focus. We're not fully positive that he is who he says he is. However, he does seem to have a lot of knowledge of the time of Besmara, and he may be able to lead us to a massive treasure. So we're kind of, sort of trusting him for the moment. I think when we left off, he had just informed us of the plan to head back into the great blue ocean and start searching for the coastline that's matching on the map that we have to find the treasure for the next piece of it.
All right, and then you guys came up to the surface, I believe, after having that wonderful little meeting with
Tete-a-tete.
the parley.
And I believe we had Tazek carry all of us at the same time up the wall with his spider climbing boots.
Yes.
Slippers.
That's right.
Sorry.
That's right. That is.
Yeah, he carried. It was like a weird totem pole slowly ascending from this well.
I think all I imagine is like stacking smallest to largest.
Yes.
much.
And Tazek comes at the top. His legs are shaking violently. He actively dies.
Yeah.
All right. So Tazlik now has 3 levels of exhaustion.
Totally understandable.
So long as
And
that workout gives me another bonus to strength, like a point to strength.
yeah,
I mean, I think there are actually kind of rules for that, but
There's rules for
there's
everything. If you want it,
Rules
it's
for
out there.
just
There's rules
pumping
for that.
irons.
there's I think it acts as like a temporary bonus that you have to like maintain.
Yeah,
Probably that would make
I think
sense.
there's something like that. Like it's kind of like the honing your weapons type thing, where you get a bonus +1 to attack for a combat or something like that, or +1 to damage for a combat if you spend time sharpening your weapons. Like there's a couple kind of weird camp activities like that are thrown about in various supplements and rule books.
All I can imagine is Quentin Tazek turning into the 2 hockey players from Letterkenny.
yes.
Listen, if any of you guys show up with those boys as your characters, I'm 100% for it. Like that's done.
And then just Shorzy.
Not sure that's PC, bro, but you said it.
Yeah.
You said,
balls a
give your
tug."
balls a tug, tit fucker.
Oh, don't tempt me with Shorzy. If we do an R-rated one, I will bring
Oh,
Shorzy.
dude, the R-rated one shot.
Ah,
Okay, listen, we can totally do that, but that's coming with a caveat. We're drinking.
I mean, that's
Oh,
just
no.
a given. It's not a caveat.
Drinking?
oh no!
During-
Whatever will we
During
do?
tabletop
right?
role-playing
Drinking?
games?
Dude,
Is that
honestly,
even
I
allowed?
could like crack a beer
Not
right
on
now,
stream.
but I am so
Yeah, definitely not on
so
stream.
not anywhere. Like, I think if any alcohol gets in my system, I'm going to fall asleep.
Probably.
Facts.
So that's why you opt for the opposite.
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus.
Ah, smart. D&D gamer
we're not
juice.
we're not at all associated, but like if you guys do want to, like, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I know Wizards of the Coast is struggling for money right now.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Wizards of the Coast, I hear you're a very respectable
Definitely
company
looking to get some.
with good business
Hey,
practices.
Wizards of the Coast, you want
Uh-huh.
to sponsor a Pathfinder stream?
Yeah. No one's ever done that before. We could do it
true.
Would
together.
be the
First
first one.
Come on, Watsy.
In fairness, though, I
Oh,
do
boy.
stream with the Dungeons and Dragons on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the Dungeons and
Twitch,
Dragons
yeah.
category for you know, I could have there's like what several thousand concurrent watchers at any given time, or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even the Pathfinder ones mark themselves as Dungeons and Dragons.
Exactly. So. Anyway,
Yeah.
now that I've remembered to unpause the game, you'll find yourselves at the surface of Fort Scattlewag. What do you do?
Tazek's gonna talk to Eldon regarding the coppers that we gained from the massive lake. Go over to Eldon and go, so we got a lot of copper from that dungeon. You think what I'm thinking?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That copper's not going to be copper if we can help it.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be copper, but only we need to know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not where I thought that was going at all.
Oh no, we're not that level of alchemy yet. That's later.
Not even that level of alchemy.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna like melt down the copper to make some actual like copper tubing for good old unnamed witch who likes to distill alcohol.
She's already got the fancy copper still. She doesn't need anything else.
Oh no, she doesn't have the copper still.
She doesn't have copper? I thought she had a copper still.
No, it was a completely functional and decent still with no, like, very little copper in it.
That's right. Because she mostly built it out of scraps and stuff, if I recall.
Correct.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh, that was what Tazik was going to do. He was going to improve the still with a whack ton of copper.
Anything for an investment opportunity.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
thing.
like Kingmaker, but instead of like building a kingdom, you're building your moonshine empire.
Enterprise maker. Now we're just playing Whiskey Tycoon.
I ain't saying no.
I got no need for that.
Piracy and rum tycoon simulator? Say less.
We could just have like
Seems like a good time to me.
hell yeah. We could have like a traveling brewery, like just a
There you
giant
go.
boat that is also a still.
That's just our cover if like anyone comes across us.
That's right. We're not pirates. We're traveling brewers.
We're a novelty ship.
Yeah.
Just,
There you
just
go.
ignore
There you go.
the parrot with the eye patch and the bicorn.
That is a paying
He's
customer.
there for the joke. It's fine.
Yeah.
He's part
the
of the joke.
authentic experience.
No quarters, full dollars only.
Simmer down, big sax.
Parlay. Shiver me timbers.
Big sexy. Simmer down.
Oh goodness.
Anyway.
Tazik, you walk into the witch's den, and now something odd has kind of happened in the time that you were gone. The witch is looking considerably skinnier since you guys last saw her just a few short hours ago. And she's looking like you could see the bags under her eyes have have darkened majorly, and her eyes are a little more sunken into her skull. Her lips are cracked as if she hasn't had much to drink in some time, but she's still maintaining the position she was in when you'd left, actively praying towards the statue of the octopus in the middle of the room.
Have we done a religion check on this octopus? I think we have.
That's right.
Okay.
I think we did.
Cool. Thank you.
Hello, friend. We found our wayward EO down in the depths.
Oh, dude, I forgot Edmund's voice.
I think he sounded a little like
Yeah, he was gravelly sounding.
more
but
gravel.
Very gravelly.
we also gave him some water, so if you don't want to do that voice for a while,
I have no issue with the voice. I just couldn't remember what it was. That being said, I feel like I'm
Got
not
it.
getting enough gravel, so let me wet my whistle here a second.
fair enough.
Drink water for more gravel.
In a side note, while you're drinking and swallowing, I had a voice, or I watched a voice actor be like, "Yeah, every single character I've ever done has I put like a 5-second snippet on my desktop. So if I ever have to get back into that character, I just have to listen to that."
See,
and
that's smart. I actually like, and of course for Edmund, I don't have them, but for every other character, I have like
Phrase.
something.
A reference or a
Like I
note
have a note that's been like,
keys you into
like
it.
for example,
Yeah.
Grok was just Calypso.
Teodama.
Yeah. But for unnamed witch number 1, I have her as it says random lady from Monty Python who wants a democracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. like you said that.
That's
You
pretty
said
much-
that, and I heard it. So like that's a good note. You said that, and I
I
heard
feel like
it.
that's
in my head.
every single like Monty
It
Python
really
lady
is,
voice, and it works so well.
Because they all sound that way. Oh, there it is. Oh, I just got canceled. Oh dear. Oh, I'm watching the
Oh, boy.
twits come in. Or sorry, are they still tweets or are they
X's?
X's?
I don't know.
What's...
They call them now.
I feel like Monty Python, they don't all sound the same.
But all right. So Edmund walks in and he steps into the room, and he looks the witch over, up and down, and you see that there's like a bit of concern on his face as he approaches her ever so slowly, and then he smacks her on the back of the head, saying, "I'm out of the hole. You can stop now." And her eyes dart open, and she looks at him, and he looks at her, and she looks at him, and he looks at her. And they don't say anything. But there's a subtle, like, you see them kind of like share a gaze for a while as Edmund just kind of turns around and steps out of the room. And then the witch looks at you and kind of goes like, "Well then, how was the trip?"
Spidery,
Creepy,
but
and or
fruitful.
crawly.
Sticky.
"Did my shoes come in handy?" And she looks at Tazek.
It came in very handy.
Excellent. Could one of you fetch me? And she kind of gestures to the foot of her bed, to the pile of onions that is there. Do you mind? My legs are a little bound at the moment.
Yeah. Tazzik will grab an onion and toss it to her.
She you toss the onion at her, and like she reacts, but like way too slowly, and it kind of just like bounces off her chest as she like tries to catch it, but she like bends over and starts eating it. And you do see some life return to her eyes as she kind of awkwardly gets up and kind of stumbles over to her bed ever so slowly. You guys can really see as she's walking that she's like rail thin at the moment. Took you long enough.
Quinn will actually kind of approach and eye Tazzik and try not to be too impolite and say, my friend, he'll extend towards the witch. Have you been in an extended fast?
You could call it that, keeping that portal open for you lot.
A portal, you say? And you can't help but notice, like, as Quinn honestly looks very curious, but his eyes are looking at the way that she's barely eating this raw onion in a really weirdly hungry way, and he's kind of like studying
the onion.
Maybe studying the way that she eats after not eating for a
she's-
long time.
Yeah,
No,
she's
studying the
taking
onion.
small measured bites. She's not too concerned, but she's not like voraciously sucking it down.
Portal, you say?
Right, and she looks at you and says, "Where do you think you were?"
Quint looks down, looks back at the rest of the party. A few 100 feet down in some kind of big-ass fortress built a long time ago. Clearly you're about to enlighten me to some amazing truth here, though.
No, not much information I can give you, unfortunately. But tell you what, on your way out, go check that well. Tell me what you see.
So Tazzik, as this is going on, is going to gather up about, let's say, 500 copper pieces and put it in a bag. He'll take it out of his cut, put it in a bag, and put it on the table by the witch and go, here's about 10 pound of copper. So might be able to make use of this to increase the diffusion of your still and maybe improve the flavor of the finished product a little bit.
She eyes the 10-pound bag, and she looks at you. In exchange for?
Maybe next time we come back, you've got some more useful knowledge. Maybe you've got some. Maybe you've made some more money because of the still, and you're feeling generous. We'll see when we come back into town.
Is that a threat?
Not a threat.
Eldon will pipe up and go, I mean, you seem to have a talent for magical accessories. Maybe we can request some assistance if we ever need a
We can
particular
barter.
item. Yeah, of magical
Oh, that act
nature.
of good feeling.
Remind me, which one of you saps is the captain again?
Yo,
Mm,
The 50,000-volt man over there.
all right. She reaches out her. She kind of like gestures you to come over to her because she's like sitting on the edge of her bed.
Eldon will walk over.
And she takes a mouthful of onion, chews it for a bit, and then spits it into her hand and holds her hand out to you.
Tazik just goes, "You're the captain," and walks away.
Eldon will take a hard pause, like solid 2-3 seconds, and then just full send, commit, just full grip,
She
and try to just look
Predator
look her
handshake.
dead in the eyes and keep a straight face.
shakes your hand. Oh, sorry, Quinn,
It's a-
go ahead.
No. It's a predator handshake, but with two rail thin arms with onions falling in between.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
her arm is rail thin. Eldon's arm is newly scarred. Like, it's just a mess.
She looks at you and she can't help but like smirk and start laughing at you. She's like, "You didn't have to do that." But I see you're committed, as she's like wiping onion on her pant leg.
Eldon's gonna cast prestidigitation and just kind of wave his hand and sift all the dirt and onion off his hand, and then do the same to where she just wiped on her clothes. Here, I got that for you.
Thanks. And she takes like another like hearty bite of the onion. She says, "Well, next time you find yourself in Hag's Reach, for whatever reason, why you would come here, I wouldn't know, but yeah, I'm sure there's something I could help you with. And she like gestures to the like just dozens of bottles in the corner of her room. That take what you want."
All right, fair enough. Well, we'll do so. Eldon will kind of pop over to the corner and grab a couple, just a couple bottles, and then we'll
Quint pockets
Kinda-
Fink.
Well, you're exotic.
Wonder what you taste like.
Yeah, I would love to get to know you a little more. You look like a
Fink
Fink to
licks
me.
his eyeball.
Oh dear. Looks back at. We still
No, you
not
have
got her
not.
name, right? Cool. Looks back at that witch, then looks at Fink, nods his head, slowly walks away.
Now, before you leave, what did he tell you down there?
Eldon will kind of stop in his tracks, headed out of the room, and kind of circle back, noting that Oscar's still standing just outside the door. Eldon's going to kind of sidle back over and go, "Well, told us we're in for a bit of a grander adventure than I think we'd originally bargained for, that's for certain. Something to do with a more divine location than where we might have been planned to head.
You're gonna try to rob her. Good.
Maybe.
You lot have the stink of destiny about you. Now, out of my sight, I need to rest.
Of course. Get your rest. Just turn, head out.
Quinn begins to leave, and he kind of turns back, and he's about to ask for her name, and then he says, "Better this way." And he keeps walking.
Tazik, as everyone's like leaving out of there, Tazik's just gonna take a quick sketch diagram of the still that she has set up.
All right. Edmund.
The moment they go around the
Oh,
corner, Quint looks to Edmund and says, "So what's her name?"
He leans down to you. You know she almost died for you guys, right?
Tazik gave her a big bunch of money.
Irie.
You did tell us
I
that.
did? Oh, okay.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
you
did
did
actually
get
get
her
her
name.
name before.
You did tell us that. That sounds
Oh,
familiar
yeah,
now that you
yeah,
say
yeah.
it. I would never remembered it, but now that you said it, that we
Well,
definitely
that's
heard that
my
before.
bad. Either way, no one got the hero point, but, that is my bad.
Oh, no. Okay, got it.
There you go.
I have a very nebulous question. When Quint was painstakingly studying the way that she ate that generic raw onion, is there any way Quint could try to guess at her flavor profile, what food she likes, if he were to make a meal, knowing very little? Does he have any feelings? Anything I should roll?
Profession cook all day.
Profession cook.
Profession cook all day.
Well, if you insist.
That's so cool.
Yeah, profession cook. Oh my,
All right,
that's
you're at
23.
23 for profession cook. Will tell you enough. You're able to intuit by the fact that the only food that you've seen since you've gotten here is onion. The only thing in her room is onion, and her breath stinks of onion. So
She wants
probably
bacon.
something oniony will be in her some form of raw onion. my mind immediately goes to that one episode of Mr. Bean where he has a New Year's Eve party and his appetizers are just like slices of raw onion with toothpicks in them.
It's great. Yeah, it tracks. Oh man, this island must, like, your eyes must sting the moment you walk here. With the stills of what was this, some kind of
Yeah,
whiskey or something? Probably not whiskey, but made of
shine.
onion.
It is
some kind
through and through back
Yeah.
alley hooch. Every like, you don't want to
yeah.
drink the first couple of batches because you will go blind.
Okay. Quint makes a mental note to find some really good cheese so that he can attempt a French onion soup next time.
Oh yeah,
He visits.
I dig it. For the record, I get her onion breath is so bad. I gave her a non-lethal breath weapon.
Nice.
That's spectacular.
I'm ugly.
All I can imagine is a la like 90s Power Rangers breath from the bad guys sort of thing.
Don't worry, guys. It's 1d2.
Charisma damage. Charisma
It'll make you
drain.
nauseated.
All right,
Mhm.
and that'll bring you guys. So you guys are done here. Nothing else you want to do real quick?
As we are leaving, Eldon is going to poke a head down the well, just to see what she was talking
So
about.
you do peek your head down the well, and Eldon has that moment of just like, I'm gonna say cognitive dissonance here, where it's not what you were expecting to see because you've already been here, you know what to see, and then you look down, and what you're greeted with is about a 4-foot stone wall, and then water.
Interesting. Eldon's going to quickly, while looking down the well, kind of just cast Detect Magic.
The well itself doesn't give off any sort of magical aura, but while you're there focusing, you do see sketch like worn away by weather over many years, but you do start to make out the inscribed runes of that unknown language written into the sides of the well.
On the inside or the outside? Inside. Interesting. Cool.
Now, again, it's been a little while in real life. Did we determine this unknown language was Cyclopean in
looks-
origin?
Or a
Derivative
derivative.
of.
It's derivative, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or Cyclopean is derivative of this.
Progenitor.
Would be the most
That's a
accurate.
progenitor
Yeah.
language of Cyclopean.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think is a Callow.
Neat.
Mhm. It's an old language. If any of you did any of you take archaeologist? I think that was one of the Skulls and Shackles traits.
It was.
Oh, no.
Or no, is it that one, or is Liz McGordy native?
Maybe that's what it was.
No, that's the sense
Yeah.
motive one. That's not the one. Yeah, there is an archaeology one that had something to do with you get Cyclops as a bonus language, I think.
Mhm.
There's something like that. I could also be thinking of Rise of the Rune Lords, because there's also a little bit of that in there.
There is definitely one. I can't remember what it's called at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, there totally is one for Skull and Shackle that is something to do with that.
It definitely was. Yeah. Yep.
Let's see, do I still have the player's guide open here?
Ancient Explorer.
That's the one.
You gain Cyclops or Polyglot as a bonus language, which I couldn't find a single thing about what Polyglot. I have no idea.
I think polyglot is a regional dialect of the Shackles, like that some of the humanoids can speak. So it's like cool if you want to
It-
blend in with some
It's like
some
speaking Creole
islands.
French.
Right.
At least that's kind of how I always interpreted it as. Maybe I'm wrong, but.
Eh.
But yeah, all right.
Oh.
So you guys are free to leave Scattlewag. I can take you back to the map of Hag's Reach if you'd like.
It's been a long time. Again, IRL. I don't recall. How did we leave off? We were bringing alcohol back to the dude in town. Yeah, and we negotiated with her that we were just gonna take the good stuff, not the great stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is correct.
So we've got that, like a 6-pack of bottles or something for him.
Yeah, you do
right?
have that delineated. I think that you handled that before you went in. Like you put some aside for you.
We
Yes.
did, yeah. That we set aside 6 bottles for her. That we I just made sure we grabbed that on the way out because I know we had negotiated that with the tavern guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we had that, and then yeah, Eldon took two bottles, so we'll have 2 bottles just to have. But other than that, I think we're good to negotiate back to town.
Alrighty.
That being said, actually, before we leave, Quint is going to keep an eye out for any particular rare herbs that might be growing on this weird witch island full of onions. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that's likely a
I'd give that
herbalism
Yeah,
check. I got profession
herbalism would be the role.
Yeah. That's a
Alright, with
15.
15. I don't think I'm prepared to give you any actual names for it, but I will say you'll find some.
Sounds good.
You'll find some good herbs. Nothing that like is extraordinarily rare, but
Cooking herbs. for the
cooking
most part.
herbs, maybe something with a
Yeah,
little bit of
that is
medicinal value,
perfect.
but nothing like drop dead like you shit your pants with glee for finding it.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. I gotta, as I described previously, I'd imagine the kind of hallway that originally was leading to the galley had torn the door off of it, and now the hallway has tons and tons of hanging plants to dry.
I
So
love it.
that's great. Anything to fill up that wall.
All right. Well, let me get you guys over then to Hag's Reach. Last chance. Morgan, you've been pretty quiet. Anything you'd like to do?
I think for the most part, Morgan's kind of having a bit of a crisis. Well, she's realized there's gods she kind of half prayed to before might have actually been real.
Yes, that sort of crisis.
So,
Listen.
yeah. So she's kind of reanalyzing a lot of, what she kind of grew up with and realizing how much bigger the world is, even though she's been on the seas for years now.
Fair enough.
I mean, to paraphrase the great philosopher Vegeta Q Super Saiyan, what is a god to a non-believer?
Truly.
Yeah.
I don't know if that.
Oh my
So
god,
I think
that was
she's
beautiful.
just for the most part just staying back and kind of being quiet
Yeah,
for that
yeah.
reason.
Thinking pretty hard for sure. All right.
also thinking about getting a bigger gun still.
Yes, we've had one gun, but what about bigger gun?
Yes, I think Tazik's going to build a much bigger gun for
Just gonna build a
Morgan.
howitzer for Morgan.
I was thinking a double hack, but
Actually, there is
Listen, anything that spews
there
fire.
is ammunition
give you
that
that, too.
grows in size when it leaves the
All
barrel of
right.
a gun. I'm just saying. That is a thing.
yep.
Oh yeah.
I think you can compress like cannonballs down into regular like musket balls, and then they turn into cannonballs when fired.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, there was that one. I mean, there probably is now but there was that one trick long ago where you had like a ring of anti-magic field, and you put it on the barrel of the gun, and it would cause then you'd shrink it, and then it would make it bigger. But that was proven to be not functional.
Yeah.
My personal favorite, like weird theory crafting artificing, is 100% the like miniature bag of holding with the portable hole inside of the arrow tip.
Yeah. I mean, the theory behind it's great. The practice behind it's just like if you need a nuke, they have nukes.
Also, it's
Yeah.
a nuke in a 10-foot radius. Not exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you need a nuke, you get a wizard.
Yeah.
Like in a world where high level wizards just exist at some point,
Yeah.
like yeah, you don't need to get that complicated.
And again, we get into if you really need, like, if you're a party and they're using that, all you do is put together an anti-magic field, and it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going around anti-mattering bosses,
Yeah.
eventually the big bad's just gonna start having an anti-magic aura in the whole boss room. Like, what are you gonna do
Yeah.
about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean they're just not gonna prepare after a while? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's why I like to have a lot of little things, but nothing that's like, oh my god, game breaking. Just a lot of like, and here's for my next
For
trick.
my next
Yeah.
trick, I produce a ring of kill everything just by looking at it. What?
Sorry,
Beg.
run that by
Beg
me
your
again.
pardon?
You mean it's
no.
an eye slot item that allows you to cast Power Word Kill infinite number of times per day? What?
Power word kill in a ring.
That sounds. Wait, what?
A gaze effect.
What was the
that's,
one?
That's what I'm
At
looking
this
for.
point, like, honest to God, at this point, Tazik's just going to pull off a dance-off like Guardians of the
What was
Galaxy.
the dimension of infinite fists, where you like make a ring that anything that passes through it goes into the dimension of infinite fists. So anyone who puts on the ring immediately takes an infinite amount of non-lethal damage.
As we're making our way back down the hike back into town, Eldon is going to start to recall that there was a shady figure, hooded figure, that was kind of creeping around and following us as we were headed up here, and keep an eye out for any characters who might look like that person we saw on the way up.
Okay.
Yeah. I recall, I think we had seen a few sketchy figures around the bridge area.
Yeah,
too.
there was one crossing the bridge or near the bridge as we were coming up the path up the hill that was very kind of trying to be inconspicuous, but clear. I think Quint caught on to the fact that he was definitely following us around.
I think he was. I think Quinn had the inkling that he was the sort of person that you could pay to acquire things from without question.
Yeah, Tazik is more accurate on there.
Yeah.
Right.
He wasn't following. He was
Yeah,
directly
there
walking
was that.
away from you actually when Quinn spotted him.
Right. Right. That's right. Yes.
All right, and so you guys leave Fort Scatterwagon. You get to the cliff face as you begin taking the path down, and Edmund kind of stops and looks out over Hag's Reach, and you see him look out to the ocean. He just takes a deep breath, just like the most satisfying, like.
How long's it been since you've been free, old man?
He looks at you, and you see his gaze kind of like pass through you at that question, and he focuses back in on you after a brief moment. Too long.
You got the sea in your blood, just like the rest of us.
No, I got the Hep C cleared a while ago. And he walks away.
Quinn looks at the rest of the party, says, "That's like extreme high magic. Like you'll have. I'm working on it, guys. I'm sorry."
That's at least greater restoration.
Yeah,
He might need a mythic level. I'm not sure.
that's the Sillin of the pen. I've heard of this magic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
It's a fungal remedy.
Arr.
There she blows. All right.
Gar.
Oh wait, you guys have control over the party marker, right?
The trick is to stick yourself with the pointy end.
Oh man. Well, as you guys are walking along, you do come across the bridge that does span the river, and Quint, since you're the one who knows what to look for, I'm going to ask you to roll the perception.
Perfect. That's one of Quinn's specialties.
-6.
Close. Sorry. I'm Canadian. Apologies are a necessity. That isn't. Oh my God. That's a natty 19 for an 18.
For an 18. Well, as you do come across the bridge, you do see what your brain was looking for. Somebody with a hood just a little bit too high and averting just the right amount of gazes for you to say, there's something.
Yeah, Quint will, slow down just enough to make sure the party can hear him well, and he says, "Well, if we got coin weighing us down, might be a good time to say hello to some prospective sellers doing their best to stay hidden." And he kind of gestures in the direction
Makes sense.
of that individual. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I got things I'm always on the lookout for, but surprisingly, a lot of the items I need are very practical. I probably don't need to lean on this kind of assistance, but any pirate worth its salt knows not to squander any opportunity to look at potential wares.
Might not be bad to see what he has, but like you, Quint, I need more resources to build things than magical doodads and
As you
trickery.
guys are deciding whether or not you want to approach this fellow, the fellow actually approaches you. And
Act casual. We're cool.
And you see him come up, and he is very short in nature and stature. One could even call him small for a small-sized creature. And he comes up, and his hood, as he's approaching, you see that it's actually held at a pretty odd angle. It doesn't quite sit on the contours of his face the way you'd expect it to. And he comes up, and he kind of tugs on Morgan's sleeve and pulls his hood back, pant leg. And he pulls his hood back, revealing a very long, narrow snout and big bulbous eyes. Its reptilian skin glistens in the rain that is falling around you. And he says, "Excuse me, miss."
Morgan will kind of look down at him.
Would you perhaps be interested in some work?
What sort of work?
See, my employer, very generous man that he is looking for people who are good at acquiring things. And he's like, you hear his tongue kind of like wisp through his well, lizards don't really have lips, so.
I'd imagine this one though.
It's giant
Giant lips.
Yeah, you got the DSL.
Just
Yeah,
kappa
oh,
lips.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Can I do knowledge something to figure out its race?
Knowledge nature.
Ooh, nature.
Knowledge a thing. Oh, that is a 3 for an 11.
3 for an 11? Well, your 3 for an 11 is enough to tell you that what you're looking at is a kobold.
Oh, okay.
Morgan's just going to cross her arms and kind of look over at Eldon. What say you, Captain?
Why not? Work is work.
Yeah. We need some good,
We need
honest
some
work.
interesting. We don't really have much direction at this point. Opportunities for more targeted direction are always welcome.
Yeah. It'll give us a chance to explore and try to find some unique coastlines of the shackles.
Eldon will kind
for-
of turn towards the kobold and go, "What exactly does your master have in mind for compensation? Should we be interested in that type of work?"
Employer, not master. And
Apologies.
he's very generous, but it really depends on the difficulties of what it is that you have acquired, right?
Understood.
Now,
That it does.
generally, and I can't, again, I ain't the man in charge, but generally, he offers half. Which is to say, half the value of the acquired
Yeah.
item.
Right. Yeah. Well, fair enough. I'd say we're interested.
Oh, most excellent, most excellent. And he hands out a thingy to you, a book to you, and a quill, and he says, just sign your name anywhere on the page works.
As he does this, Quint is going to keep an eye out for any potential pickpocketing. And as this conversation was happening, he's also looking around for any other small kobolds that might try to sneak things.
Oh, can I get another perception?
Actually, yeah, Morgan's gonna do
Yep.
perception as well.
That's a wise choice.
These guys are waiting to get mugged. All right.
Why not? Perception's all around.
All right, with
It's
the
beautiful.
Eldon is not wise enough to even think that far ahead. He's looking at the kobold directly.
with two
He's no suspicion whatsoever.
All right, with two 11s and a 17, you guys don't see any active attempts at pickpocketing.
Cool. Only successful attempts.
Quint, you look down
Yeah,
and
that's
your
right,
pants are gone.
You don't see any active attempts, but you see another kobold running away at like 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Tazig,
Yeah.
why are you barefoot?
That, if it's running away at 1,000 miles an hour, at that point, Tazik's just playing target practice.
Yeah, something starts running. Pull.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Eldon will.
Need time to sort it out later.
Eldon's looking at the book a little suspiciously. Does the book look like particularly clean or particularly crisp, or is it just like a dirty, well-used ledger?
It's definitely leaning more towards ledger.
Okay. So it just kind of looks like a beat-up kind of journal book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, I just want to check one thing, because this might be relevant here. Eldon's going to kind of lean down and say, just a name?
Just the name for now, sir. I fill in the rest.
And should I sign my name, how would you know to locate us or to communicate to us the task?
Well, the thing is that I'm going to give you the task once you sign on. See, there's an active fetch quest at the moment, and I know what to tell you. I just need your name, because what happens, you put your name in this book, and then I write what is I'm giving you to take back to the captain. And I don't know how it works, but it shows up in his book. So it's just,
Understood.
my little kobold brain, not very good with the writings, downs of names and such, so...
Magical ledgers.
And so he hands it to you.
Fair enough. Eldon will... Okay, so I got something. Hold on.
Alden's gonna
I
write
gotta
some
friggin-
bitch.
No.
Barnabas Harrigan.
Shocking grasp. Let's shake on it.
Eldon is going to sign his father's name.
Ooh, interesting.
Eldon's gonna write. Yeah, Eldon's going to. So, Eldon. So, looking at the ledger, are there other names
yeah.
written in it that Eldon can see? Okay. Are they written full name first last, or are there some that are just initials? What's the pattern of all the other names in the book so far?
But with the one other page that you can see.
Sure, with whatever you can
there
see.
isn't actually. It has a full name, like first name, last name. But no, that's really all you can see is the one other page.
All right, yeah. Eldon will write his father's full
Right.
name.
And I mean, true to the kobold word, there is actually barely legible script underneath the names that do kind of seem to denote some sort of tally and object.
Right. Sure. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So Eldon will write his father's full name.
Excellent. And she looks at it, and you see him trying to decipher the text, and he just kind of skips over it entirely, and he says, "Well, the first thing that the boss needs to get, he sniffs the air. It seems you've already acquired. He's looking for some of Irie's moonshine to be taken back to his ship for selling. Cask will do."
A cask. Remind me, how many bottles is a cask?
32.
Yeah, I don't think we're not carrying that much, but we've got a small quantity, but it's already promised to another. Is that the first task required of us? Is a cask of Irie's?
A cask of Irie's moonshine, if you can be so good as to acquire it. You see, the thing with the boss, he don't care how long it takes. He gets it when he gets it.
And where are we to deliver it?
Chances are you'll find him.
Uh-huh.
Friend Kobold, what be your name?
Pimp named Slickback.
Let me just write that down.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Does he do that meme, the Juji slide away?
My name, and you see him his eyes widen, and there's some general you see the windows loading. It's been
with the wheel of death
going. It's smooth brain.
Did you say that just because there's an exposed brain to your left?
Smooth brain the kobold.
I see.
I don't know what it means,
Very well,
but
Master
they
Smooth
gave
Brain.
it to me. It's the name they gave me.
Very well, Master Smooth Brain. When we acquire a cask of Irie's moonshine, we'll be sure to hold on to it for your captain.
Right. Now that you're formally employed by my master, would you care to know his name, or you want to be surprised?
For the sake of our understanding, it'd be good to know who our employer is.
Jason Silvershackles.
Jason Silvershackles.
No, Jason Silvershackles.
Jason.
J-son.
So, yeah.
Not hyphen. Comma. Not comma. The top one.
Oh, apostrophe.
Apostrophe?
Excuse me, the party marker talks in chat.
Ooh, every time we change scenes, my notes disappear. That's something we gotta figure out.
That is problematic.
Ooh.
Because I made a
Is
note
it-
about
are you
I made a
doing
note
notes
about
on your
Irie
token, maybe?
or about Fink and the third hero point on the last screen. And when we transitioned here, I opened my character sheet and they are gone.
dear.
You might have added the note to your token, but not to your actual
I
character
thought I'd get to
sheet?
the character sheet, but I will. I'm
Yeah.
trying to make sure I do for notes, especially.
Let's see.
But weird.
I've been using the journal if I.
Ooh,
carry
no,
those things, 'cause
I'm
that seems to.
checking your
sure.
character sheet actually in Fort Scatawag. The notes are not here.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Because I did make a note and I saved it, and it's since vanished. So That's fine. All I wrote was third hero point, basically.
I like the note. Quint found a platinum coin. I don't remember that, but apparently it happened.
Yes, that did happen.
Yeah.
According to my notes,
It was
yeah,
in the fireplace when we first entered.
fireplace.
Yeah, it was in the
That's right,
fireplace when we first entered
Yeah.
that area. Yeah. That's. I think that's on the loot sheet too.
One whole
Yeah,
platinum.
that was
like
a coin that was likely put in as a.
Oh, yeah, it
offering
actually is on the
to-
character sheet.
Anyway, yeah, it's totally on the loot sheet right now. That's funny. Okay, so Jason Silver Shackles.
Yes, very generous man that
Interesting.
he is. Employs many, many smooth brains.
You referred to him as a captain. And, what vessel does he sail?
The inevitable.
Quentin nods in appreciation of a good name.
Wait a minute.
Concern.
Wait a
Who
minute.
did I just employ myself to? Says the man with 8
Wait a minute. I don't have the knowledges for this, but wait a damn minute. That's not Eldon saying that, but
I do have the knowledges. What am I rolling?
could it? I mean, probably knowledge local,
knowledge
right?
local
But
would be.
or knowledge nobility,
Yeah,
depending
I'm-
on the person.
Profession sailor,
Profession
maybe,
sailor,
but we all
maybe.
got
Yeah.
profession
Depending on
sailor.
how
It's
infamous
kind of
the
a-
thing is, profession sailor could work.
I mean, it's not a bad idea to roll knowledge local to see if I know of any sort of rumors around this guy. Now that we've
Or the ship,
shackled our ship,
or the
to his-
ship, the inevitable.
Yeah.
I'll do a
right.
knowledge local.
All right, so with
See.
now we have 2 knowledge locals, one with a 13, one with a
Oh.
19. That was Morgan and Tazik, respectively.
Ah.
I don't have local. I'll just throw out a sailor in the
Oh, well.
event it matters, but
So 11.
None of you guys, the name Jason Silver Shackles doesn't mean much to you. But you do know from hearsay, tall tales, old sailors' tales, really, from doomed vessels out to sea, that the inevitable was the name of a Chelish flagship from a couple hundred years ago.
a couple hundred years ago. Interesting.
Curious.
Very curious.
Maybe he's got a piece of 8.
Well, anyway, very well. We've got to be on our way, but if once we acquire that cask, we will definitely make sure we set it aside for him. And as you say, if he comes looking for it, we'll hope to have it at the ready.
Oh, don't worry, he's good
I'll
at
wait for the next
finding
batch. I
people.
think that'll be better.
And he like licks his eyeball.
We'll wait for the next batch of the whiskey. I think it'll be better for him.
I hope our relationship becomes most fortuitous. And he walks away at that, after slamming the book quite heavily.
Dum, dum.
And you see him kind of pass the bridge, and he just kind of like disappears down a street. But he's heading towards the little group of houses off into the distance.
And I need to plan some things. Tazik's going to want to stop at the blacksmith and pick up some
All
supplies.
right. Well, the blacksmith is.
Yeah, let's. We wanted to hit the fishmonger on the way back to the ship anyway, right?
Yeah.
I think Quint wanted to hit the fishmonger for some extra
get
extra
some
supplies,
food
some salts
supplies.
or whatever else we needed.
All right.
And that's in the direction of the tavern that we need
For
to
another
deliver the
1/3
goods
of a
to.
hero point for the first person who says it.
Yep.
Fishmonger's name.
Shit. I knew
Fish.
you were gonna say this too. I was thinking about it earlier. I can't remember. I was trying to remember the whole way back here.
Right. One second. One second.
I was trying to remember the tavern guy's name too. I can't remember anybody. That's what we get for taking a month off.
I'm horrible with names, so yeah, done.
It was.
One second.
It was
One second.
like
I have this
stink
written
eye.
down.
It was like stink eye or something. It was like.
You're very
ah,
close. It was like.
I know I
Stink
am. I'm
Eye.
annoyed. Is it stink pot?
No.
I can't remember. It's so. I know I'm close. I'm not gonna get it.
Oh yeah, it was He gave us a stink eye, so it was stink eye.
Was it Stink Eye? I don't remember it being Stink Eye.
No, he had a name though. Oh, he had a name, and he told us his name. Because yeah, we didn't actually meet him because we didn't actually stop there. But I think out of character, like out of game, you told it to us, and I don't.
I'm pretty sure it
remember.
was the. I'm pretty sure it was the dwarf that was more beard than dwarf that told you.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. It might have been him that said it. Yeah.
Oh, well.
No.
Well, as you guys try to
Nothing.
rattle your brains, because it definitely wasn't Stink Eye. Now I'm struggling to remember it.
Oh.
Well, Season, you've been listening to the previous episodes.
Yeah,
have to go
no,
back
I'm
and check the
actually
VOD.
you can see my screen lighting up because I'm rapidly going through all these Word documents. I do feel like
It
it was
was
something
eye-related.
eye-related because for some reason that feels
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Was it fish
Uh,
eye?
it
It
was,
was. I want to. Fish Eye is like also like out there. Stink guts. Fish guts. No, fish guts was the
No. Fish guts.
Yeah, it wasn't
first.
fish
No, it
guts.
can't be fish guts.
Stink Eye. Stink brain. Stink. There was the S.
To the
Hot
VODs.
dog.
To the
We'll have-
VODs.
Nobody's got it.
got
No
it.
hero.
All right. Just
We'll check the
for the
VODs
sake of
after,
today,
we'll
his name is
remember.
Stink Eye. But as you guys do come to the deck, to the dock rather, because you guys were just standing here, right?
Yeah, I guess we were headed that way. Along
Yep.
the front.
You do notice that the boat still in great shape, pretty good repair. The ropes that are tying it to the dock are in considerably better knots than they were when you left, and
Slime eye.
There it is.
That's
good
it.
call.
That is your 1/3 of a hero point.
Went
sir.
into the archives for that one. Into the archives.
I might replenish because I got down to 0. I might replenish back up to 1 today.
Yeah, I'm down at 0 as well after the events of the mimic fight.
Dude, it was a mimic.
It burned so much just to get just to like be able to do something to the man.
Dude, like the absolute worst dungeon idea I've ever had. And you guys don't need to worry about it. You know this because I'm telling you about it. But I 100% have a dungeon where everything is a mimic.
Yeah. See, that's where
Except the chest
you
at the
learn
end.
Tazik's preference of burn
No,
it
see,
all.
at the end is an
Yeah.
orb.
It's okay. Orbs will withstand the kind of fire that a mimic won't.
If they are orbs.
It's okay. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make to stop the mimic army.
Now, if we open a dungeon and like the first 3 things we touch are mimics, we throw a Molotov in there and we leave. That's it.
Yeah.
We leave.
Great. Now the dungeon's sticky.
No, we're gonna take that. If that happens, we take that whole cask of alcohol from
Yep.
from Iries and roll it in, and then just light it on fire and
What if
walk
the
away.
boat
Yeah.
is a mimic?
Then we
Then
win.
Morgan just needs to intimidate it, and then it'll stay a
As we
boat.
did learn, Morgan can intimidate
Yes.
doors.
Yeah.
Mimics? Hey, they're not undead.
They are not.
They have a
They
brain.
do.
It's primitive, but they have a brain.
It's true.
All right, but
Anyway,
And they knows to
yeah,
sit and
Bismarck's
stay
pleasure
put.
is looking pretty sturdily docked. And as you guys walk past, the dwarf, that's the species, the race, comes out of his hole in the ground and says, "Oi, oi, you!" And he looks at Alden. "You owe me.
I don't believe we do,
You
sir.
owe me 6 days."
6 days, you say?
I mean,
I think last we spoke it was 1 silver until we got back to the ship. That was our negotiation.
That was for the day. It's been 6.
You failed to negotiate that. Our negotiation was 1 silver until we returned.
You see the glint of his eyes through like the bush that is his face. Like I'm talking his like beard is blended into his eyebrows, is blended into the hair on his head. Like there's like just like the tiniest little like slits where he can see through.
He's Wild Mike.
Wild Mike. Yeah, no, never mind.
Yeah, that's a
that's a
reference. That's a
reference.
reference.
I have the sudden urge to listen to not Cotton Eye Joe.
Slow Ride. And Slow
Yep.
Ride. Mr. Bombastic, maybe?
Right.
Biggie cheese.
Hamster dance.
And you see his eye.
I'll cut him off. I'll tell you what. Our deal was 1. I'll give you 2 for all the trouble we've caused you.
3.
Morgan's gonna stand behind Eldon and roll an intimidate.
Oh, I'm not. I'm wait. He looks at you and says, 2 silver it is.
Eldon will pull out 2 silvers and 5 coppers and put it in the man's hand.
Highway robbery, this. And he packs it away. And when will you be leaving?
Today. We're just getting some supplies and we'll be out of your hair.
Right. And
All of them.
yo, actually, it's one really long hair.
That's impressive. That's a lot of braiding.
And he laughs at you, and he jumps back into his hole, where like the top of his head like perfectly encloses, like he's a trapdoor spider.
Hair plug.
For the
He's
record, when
Oscar
we
the
negotiated
Grouch.
with him on the way in, it was 2 silvers for the day.
Yeah.
So at the cost of 5 coppers, I just bought us 6 days.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, all right. So you guys are at Slime Eyes Fish Market, and all the fish at Slime Eyes Fish Market is decidedly slimy. Not for like the quality of the fish, it's just that there's a lot of lungfish in these waters, and so there's a lot of mucus
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Oh, Master Kryn, if you want to negotiate with this fine man here and get any supplies you need, feel free to spend what you need to for the ship's stores, and we'll make up the books at the end. And then Tazik, at the same time, do you want to
Oh, I meant
go negotiate with the
hagfish,
blacksmith so we can
not lungfish.
hagfish, right?
Hagfish.
Right. And I'm gonna kind of lean over to Tazik. Shall we continue on to the blacksmith, and we can maybe once you
Sounds
guys
like
are
a
done
plan.
doing your supply shopping, we can meet you up at the tavern.
Keep an eye out for some nice cutlery, by the way. I doubt they have anything, but you never know. Some blacksmiths are pretty fun.
We'll do.
Ideally, if you can, one of those longer 4. Okay, so I need 3, and he starts listing like a really detailed list of all the tools he could possibly want, and it kind of goes on a bit excessively.
You know what? Let's.
In particular, that's a roasting fork. Okay, it's very important. At some point, I need this. If you find it, get it. Those are.
If the tongs
We
don't
need
go clickety clickety, I don't want them.
Now, when you pick the tongs, you need to pick them up
Exactly.
and you need to do 3 test clicks.
No, too many. Incorrect. You're starting off wrong. It's 2
2 clicks.
clicks.
That's right. 2
Click
clicks.
clack. That's it.
Always 2 clicks.
Click
clicks.
clack. Done.
3. That's just
3
masturbation.
Listen,
excessive.
Quint is known if nothing if not for enjoying himself. So
Yeah.
It's
true.
Yeah.
That is true.
2 clicks.
2
Always.
clicks.
Pick them up. Tap. Off we go.
Off to work.
To the grill.
Pitter patter.
Pitter patter. Let's get going.
All right. Well, you guys
Let's
do
go
come. So I believe Quint is visiting Slime Eye.
Yeah, if Quint's got an excessive list, let's just all do our shop together. We'll hit all 3 places, and then we'll get on the boat. Ellen's like, I'm not going to remember any of those things you just told me. I worked in the kitchen for about 7 days. Like,
And as far as I'm
I caught turtles. No, that's about all I
went
did.
turtle
So,
fishing once, all a blur after that.
yeah, everything since then has just been downhill. It's just not it as far as my cooking knowledge. So let's just get our supplies. I'll carry the supplies. You buy what you need.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as that goes, Quint is just looking to purchase actual food supplies, and he would err on the side of picking some excessive items, probably, to be honest. But that being said, I don't know if he would play his hand. I think he'd kind of act up the fact that he might not have a lot of money, so that they don't try to immediately gouge
That's
him.
fair.
Yeah. And a minor thing, he's also on the lookout for some decent lumber, but small size so that he can make plates and other such smaller objects.
Do you have profession whittler?
That's that. Unironically, he's got profession carpenter.
That's right. You do too. All right.
He's
Nice.
Jesus.
a practical
You
individual.
guys approach Slime Eye, and he does quite actually live up to his name. Where he once had 2 eyes, he still has 2 eyes, but one of them is completely glossed over like white and leaking profusely.
Ooh.
And he seems pretty jovial actually as you approach. Not at all like the stink eye that you received earlier. Well, last week, as you've just learned. And he chops his knife, his big old butcher's knife, into the table as you approach, and he kind of slaps his chest and says, "Hey, what can I do this here for?"
Cat.
Master Cook, what do you need?
Well, all right, perfect. I don't know if we want to maybe deliver the payload. Oh, my apologies. That's 2 more buildings over. Yeah. No. We're just looking for some basic supplies until we make it to the next port in. You got any,
I
bulk
got
deals?
Hagfish.
Hagfish. Oh, I see. I know. You don't do that. You don't do that exotic drink, do you? Where they just, have a hagfish in ale and.
He leans
Have you
over
tried that?
and he looks at you and says, I got a cousin out that way, and he's a quite popular drink. How did you learn about it?
Oh, I spent a little bit of time in Sandpoint. Yeah, it's a bit of a happening place, passing through, but it's been a little while. I I'll try anything
Crazy
once.
how the innkeeper
or
there was
twice.
turned out to be royalty, isn't it? Crazy troubles that.
I didn't hear that. Is that so? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, you
it's
haven't
been a
heard of that.
little
Yeah,
while.
there's a whole thing. And he realizes he's getting away from himself, but he says, "No, just hagfish here. But the jolly chap there down at the end," and he gestures to the pub, "will happily provide you some ale, and you can dip a fish in there if you so chose."
Now, that wasn't my intention, but who am I to say no? Yeah, we'll do that. Let's walk and talk a little bit. And he starts making his way towards this horrifying hagfish concoction. And he says, "So, is that the only thing you guys have? Literally only hagfish? Because
For the most part, there ain't much in here but
Okay.
hagfish, unfortunately.
all right, well, I mean,
That's
meat's
right.
meat. Am I right?
We got
And,
hagfish
yeah.
stew, hagfish gumbo, fried hagfish on a stick, hagfish on the rocks, hagfish liver, hagfish delivered.
That's excellent. You know what? I like the sound of hagfish delivered. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, truthfully, given the whole general goods, I thought it'd be a little more general, but I'm okay with hagfish. Hold the fixins. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm okay with raw hagfish. You don't have to prepare it. Leave that to me. But I am gonna need some kind of grain. Literally anything. Anything. Anything
I
other
got
than
a bag
hagfish.
of rice that's been sitting under my counter for about, he looks at it, 6 years.
Tell you what, I'll buy double the amount of hagfish if you throw in the rice.
You see as his one eye closes, his other eye just is perpetually open as he blinks, trying to decipher what you just said, and he goes, "How many hagfish do you want?"
Well, I was thinking I could get by with
So 6?
uh,
Nah.
good math.
Make it 10.
All right, well, that's a little steep for my pockets. Not to literally drag out this entire conversation revolving around hagfish, but Are you sure that's the only thing you got going for you? I mean, I'll take non-food items. You got some lumber anywhere around there? You must get the
How much lumber
occasional
do you
visitor, right? Well, truth be told, just enough to get by. I don't need anything for ship repairs. I mean, more so for craft work.
So not something any gestures to
Um,
like your ship off in the distance, but something more like any gestures to his butcher stop, which is like
Yeah, yeah, certainly something a little
Yeah, what's
more
it worth to you?
portable. Well, and at this, Quint is going to try to. Hmm. Well, I mean, that depends. And he kind of looks at the guy and he says, "So I'm sorry, you don't have too many visitors that come through
he
here."
looks down at like the rundown shacks on either side of him. He goes, "Not too many, no."
All right, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm in a similar boat. I've been without work for a little bit of time. We just hopped back into the ocean, so I mean, I don't know if you want to get a little creative here. It's not a wager or anything, but maybe I could be convinced to go for, say, I could do 8 hagfish for the price of 6, but I'd chug a whole pint of that delicious slimy
Double if you
goodness
can't
right in
make it.
front of you. If I fail, I'm gonna buy the 10 full price.
And the rice. And the
Throw
wood.
in the rice for me. I could get the wood, but I don't know. This is getting a little rich for my blood. And he kind of looks over at the hagfish slime and he says, sorry, I don't think this is quite going to work for me. I'll just get,
Quick out of character. This guy's just like a fishmonger.
Yeah,
He's not a general
fishmonger,
merchant or anything like that.
100%
He's straight up
just
just
a
a
fishmonger.
fishmonger.
okay.
He's not a
Okay.
general merchant. He's just straight up a
Yeah.
fishmonger.
Cool. Yeah. So earlier I misread when that said general goods. Why is it written general goods
There's
there?
what? Something
Oh,
else?
well, that's
General
fine.
goods? Okay.
No, there's nothing. No. I said general goods earlier, and he was just like, uh-huh.
Well, I thought that's what you were calling general
yeah.
goods.
Oh, I like that. Tell you what, you know what? If you let me make some kind of diplomacy check, I'll call you
Just
general.
what are you buying, season?
Yeah, I don't know. This is horrible, and I did not want to drag that out at all. He just wants to get some meat to survive at sea for another 2 weeks
We
potentially.
do also
So
have 2
he's gonna go
sharks
for
worth of meat that we just got on the way
A
here,
week
right?
ago.
That's
okay.
a week ago, right? But a week
That's
and
a
a
good
couple
point,
days because
yeah.
it was on the way
Mhm.
here, right? So
A week
we've
ago
got
that Owlbear was on board ship.
totally fair, absolutely fair.
It's a
to
bold
check on that
assumption to
situation.
assume Owlbear is still on the ship.
Yeah, we'll have to dig into that when we get there. But
We tasked Spook with keeping it there.
It's a bold assumption to assume Spook
Okay,
is still
so
on
to
the
get
ship.
out of the role play a little bit, ultimately Quint is looking to get enough food to survive another,
All right.
at minimum, 1 week at sea. I'd like 2
with,
weeks.
with
at
the
minimum.
40-year-old, like 10
Um,
pounds of rice. You got that. Or, sorry, 6
Mhm.
years old.
6 years old.
Yeah.
You gotta pay extra for that kind of
down.
age.
It does not move at all. It's just like one solid lump that like hits the butcher's top.
I'm used to rice that wiggles, so that's great. That's good news.
And then he reaches down and gets you 6 hagfish. And then he says, "You still wanted the wood, right? 3 copper."
Yeah, if you could. And he kind of.
All right.
Yeah,
And then he
yeah, I could
rips a
do that.
board off of his butcher's top and places it on top of the rice bag.
Yeah.
5 silver.
It's acceptable. Sure.
That is
Do I
reasonable.
think that's reasonable for what? Okay. Yeah, certainly. That's no trouble. Boo. Tell you what. Throw in another. Do I see anything nice looking in the shop? Not nice looking. Anything strange looking in the
strange
shop? Yeah.
There's a string of hagfish skulls hanging behind him.
I feel like there must be a story about that nice little necklace you got back there. I tell you what, throw that in. I'll make it 6 silver.
He looks at it. He looks at you. And without saying a word, he reaches behind him and just like pulls the thing off the ceiling and just hands it to you.
Good man. Yeah, and Quint will
takes
give
the
him 6 silver.
Bites into a few of them to make sure they're real, and pockets them. Says, "Pleasure, Master Halfling."
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. The important thing is you are the Major
Then he
General.
goes, "Oh,
Don't
Scott."
forget that. Yeah, and he zooms on out, and as he leaves, he's like, "The fuck kind of fishmonger only has time to get creative." He's gonna try to. Oh, sorry. I guess the party was more or less kind of hanging around, so he's gonna be with the party and head to the next location.
I mean, Eldon will kind of say, like, Quint, if you
well-
want to take those and do any prep or hang them up, by all means, we can handle whatever else other shopping needs doing. Or if you want to check the smith as well, feel free to tag along with us.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I'm on the lookout for a good whittling knife. Not necessary. I got plenty of generic ones, but you know, I wouldn't mind
Keep eyes
something
out.
new. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's good. I'll keep an eye on the boat, and I'll start, dealing with all of these things. One like falls out of his hands. Oh,
No,
God.
don't worry. They're aged like
Quint
a
is gonna-
fine vintage.
Sorry. Delicious. They stick to him.
Oh,
Yeah, Quint will make his way to the boat.
Not bueno. Not good. Okay, well, you guys go over to the blacksmith, and the blacksmith is rhythmically tinking away at the metal in front of him. And Quint, you did say you were going back to the ship. All right, I'll get to you
To the ship,
in a
yep.
bit. So.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So
Take
you
your
guys approach
time.
the blacksmith shop, and the blacksmith is blacksmithing. The man is covered in like soot from head to tail. Couldn't really discern the color of his skin if you tried, because he is just caked in it, and the general aroma wafting off this man screams of a fine odor of a man who has not washed in several months, despite living on the coast.
Hail, fair blacksmith. We need some of your wares.
And he looks at you, and he puts a hand up in the air as he's like just considering to hammer on what he's working on.
we'll wait. Eldon's just going to kind of start peeking around the shop, see what's lying around, see what he has on shelves or anything like that. If he looks like he's got any wares out, or if it's just kind of a workshop and there's not much.
He does
lying
got some wares out. There is certainly stuff for sale. You do see a lot of the usual that you can expect at a small fishing village's blacksmith shop. So, which is to say, hooks, nails, lots of nails, some pieces of lumber as well, kind of designated to ship repair and regular work. Now, the wood does appear to be secondhand. There isn't much by way of like fresh wood in there. Your guess, probably some salvage from a shipwreck.
Tracks.
Tazik's gonna slowly like lay 3 coppers out on the table and then stack them up and then slide them over and then stack them up while he waits for the blacksmith.
And then as you're looking around the room, you do see there are some weapons, mostly just like cutlasses, put together of like pretty decent quality. There's some fishing knives, of course. You do recognize the odd boot knife here and there. As for armor, nothing to really mention. Yeah, no, there's no real armor here. But if you were to hazard a guess, what he's working on is probably some sort of shield. But yeah, after a few minutes, he stops his tanging, eyes his work and sticks it back on the coals as he turns to you and says, "My apologies. It's just when the steel's hot, it needs to be moved."
Aye.
So, pardon. What can I get you for?
I'm in need of steel rod, and he starts rattling off like dimensions of steel rods and like ingots of steel this size, and basically, roughly like 600-ish gold worth of steel and parts and things like that, bits and bobs and
That's
what have yous.
that's a tall order for what you're after. I'll be honest, good rat. I can't meet what you got there. 600 gold is more than what my shop is worth, and then some. I might have something that fits a rod. How big was the rod?
I think if say like it's about 1 inch diameter, about 16-ish inches long.
Gunsmith you are, right?
Oh,
I hear
yeah.
a barrel when I see one. And you see him kind of disappear, and he starts like rummaging in the back of his shop there, and he pulls out a steel rod. It's nothing of particular quality. It's haphazardly put together. He says, "I was gonna try to turn this into a sword for my boy, but paying customer takes priority."
Usually. What need you for that, fair blacksmith? How much gold?
What's it worth to you?
Oh. Takes out about 5 gold coins and sets them on the table and lays them out and goes, "I think it would do me if it could be a little bit nicer of grain, but I think I can work with it."
5 gold. 5 gold. You see him do some quick maths in his head. 2 silver on that, and you got yourself a deal.
He goes, "Done," and puts the coin down and
You see him nod in appreciation, and he pockets the stuff, and for you, fair human. You see as he like stops and like ponders what he just said out loud.
Is he addressing Morgan or Eldon?
dwarf.
Because like Morgan
Dealer's choice.
looks humanish.
Y'all look the same. Like what?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Quick
That's
out
what I
of
slowed
character
down.
question. Do we have any
Yes.
fishing gear on the boat?
Ellen is going to take a quick poke around, just look around and see if he sees any kitchenwares type, like decently sturdy kind of, not cast iron if there is, or just any kind of half decent metalwares that Quint might need for the kitchen, or a sturdy short kind of boot knife that might be good for woodwork or whittling.
You do come across some fairly good-looking boot knives. The man is well skilled at making knives. So you do find a couple of those, and as you're kind of rummaging around, could I get a perception check from you as you're perusing his haphazardly organized shop?
Morgan's also going to assist Eldon in just looking around for things that Quint would be on the lookout for.
Dang it, Eldon.
All right, Eldon's.
Thank God Morgan's here, because Eldon didn't see nothing.
Eldon rolled a 7. Morgan has rolled a 26.
Yeah.
Almost 4
that
times
tracks.
Eldon's roll.
That tracks, honestly.
Yeah.
It tracks.
And Morgan, as you're looking around, Eldon kind of glossed over it, but you do see an unadorned wooden box kind of sitting tucked into a corner on a shelf.
Okay. Morgan's going to approach the box and kind of point it out to Eldon as well.
What's in the box?
Well, it's just, like I said, unadorned wooden box. Decent make though. Like it's a quick glance at it, you can see that it was of high quality many moons ago.
Eldon will kind of turn to the blacksmith and go, "What's in there?"
He stops and looks at him. Been so long? Don't think I right remember. Cutlery?
Oh yeah.
We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll pull it down and kind of open it up. See, can we? Is it just like open, easy open lid
Easy
kind of
open
thing?
lid.
Or
And as you open it up, you are greeted with does Eldon have a praise?
nah,
Well,
skills be tight.
Morgan does.
all right, Morgan.
To praise a trained one?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I did take a.
Yep.
Take
All
a.
right, so
skill
15 and 21.
point, so.
So actually 15 was the DC that was set for this one. So both of you immediately recognize the tattered, like it's old. It's forgotten. It doesn't the box itself has decayed considerably, and the metal is tarnished, but judging by the faint wisps of purple that remain in the velvet cushions that this cutlery was set into, and a quick glance at the work, tarnished it is, but this is 100% silver cutlery of the highest grade, just forgotten. And it's really well worked. There's beautiful intricate line work in it, and it's
Right
at a
up Gwen's
quick
alley.
glance you're seeing a full set, 8 of each, knives, forks, and spoons.
Oh yeah, cutlery. So it is. What do you want for it?
I've been sitting there so long. What's it worth to you?
How's 7 silver?
He stops and he ponders. 7 silver. Make it a gold. Now throw in some fish hooks to sweeten the pot for you.
How about 2 gold, and you throw in also a good small knife for whittling, carving.
Got yourself an accord.
Good man. Pull out 2 gold, put on the counter
Yeah,
for him.
sucker. I'd have taken one. Also, Morgan, with your 21, you're looking at like 500 gold and worth of silver cutlery.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sweating the extra gold.
Yeah.
No.
Or sorry, 500.
like,
No, that's a
I'm
great
the sucker.
overstatement. Sorry, 225. My bad.
Nice.
So, but still.
Still.
Still a steal.
Yeah.
Still a steal.
And he takes it and he produces a. He gives you a knife. Pretty great quality. The hilt is a nice polished wood. Comes in a nice leather sheath, rather. And you pull it out to take a look, and you do see the maker's mark put into it. A T with an S going through the center line. He hands it to you and says, if there's ever any problems with it, breaks, needs sharpening, come on by. I typically do my repairs for free for such good customers.
Keep it in mind. Didn't catch your name, Master Smith.
That's Terrence.
Master Terrence, pleasure doing business with you. If we ever find ourselves in the area again, we'll be sure to stop by and stimulate your economy a little bit more.
Love my economy getting stimulated. He stops at
Sure you would.
what he just said again. Shakes his head and he just goes to his shield, pulls it out of the cold, inspects it, and starts tinking away.
Tracks. All right. Last stop, the tavern.
All right, to the tavern you go. Now, I, honest to God, don't remember the tavern keeper's name at all.
Nah.
Some guy.
It is also
It's called
Slam Eye.
Jeff. Him
I don't know that we actually got his name.
might not
I'll be
have.
honest. That one, I'm completely blank on that. Like, I don't even have an inkling of what the fact that we got a name.
He's Slime Eye's cousin, Slimefoot.
That's right.
Yeah.
I definitely remember trying to make a pun on his name, so we have heard it.
I'm sure I might even remember it to hear it. I'll have to maybe go find the
Him
VOD.
named Jeff.
Named Jeff.
Jeff. Okay, yeah. So you open up and it's the barkeep looks at you and he's pissed. I sent you out there for a bottle of shine. And you come back 6 days later. I made the trip.
With 6 bottles.
I made the trip up there myself, and I already got me some.
Curious. Thought we would have run into you. We've been up there for quite a while, obviously.
Well, when I get up there, your lot's gone, and the witch is in a trance.
Yes, well, it's quite the story. We'll have to tell you some other time.
And you just hear Edmund just kind of like snicker under his breath.
And we'll just kind of Ellen will kind of set the 6-pack of bottles on that was in the case or whatever she had. We'll set it back up on the counter.
Well, he looks at it and says, job delivered, job delivered. And as he's like looking, as he kind of stops what he's doing, looks up at Edmund, and you see like a pause in the gnome's eyes, the realization on his face as he kind of like spits on the ground, puts a symbol in the air, and like spins 3 times in a circle, and hands you your 2 gold coins or whatever it was.
Pleasure
Was
doing
it 2
business
gold?
with
I
you,
feel like
sir.
it was 2 gold.
I think it was
Yeah.
2 gold. Yeah. Yeah. Pleasure doing business with you, sir. And Eldon will take out one of the other 2 bottles that Irie gave to him, and he'll put one of them extra up on the counter for the gnome and say, "For the troubles," and then turn to leave.
Yeah, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Don't come back.
I mean, we'll see.
Hey.
If we are, we'll
No
no
promises.
promises, but
Just don't
We're in town.
bring
We'll look you up.
that. And he like gestures towards Edmund. Edmund just winks at the guy.
and he doesn't gesture at Tazik, the rat folk.
No,
Oh no, because he thinks he's a halfling.
Yeah.
That's
it's
right.
a halfling with a
Hairy
He's
skin
a
halfling.
diseased halfling. Hairy halfling.
Yep.
That's right. So
Listen, if the bluff
That was
check
so good.
fails, the intimidate check will continue.
that's right.
Exactly.
This is the best part.
That's like
Eldon's
the motto
actually not
of
that
our
good a
team.
liar. Eldon's not actually a good liar. It's just that Morgan stands behind him all the
There's a
time.
perpetual circumstance bonus to bluff.
Yeah.
The motto of our team is if the bluff check fails, the intimidate check won't.
Yep.
Release
People
the Morgan.
recognize. Yeah, at any point, Eldon could just take 2 steps to his left, and then it's just Morgan. So, yeah.
If the guns
It
don't
works.
get you, the lightning.
Who's
will.
the captain? The captain or the person who controls the captain?
Nobody controls the captain. She supports
Until
the
she
captain.
drops
Morgan
an
is a phenomenal first mate.
Intimidate on you. I say we go port. Eldon, you wet yourself a little bit and decide to go port.
All right, so we got our 2 gold back. Say
All right.
less. Mark it
This
off.
has been a very profitable trip for you guys.
Honest, could be worse. All right, let's start taking our way back to the boat, and I'm sure Quint's already had some.
Well, and that's where we're going to go
opportunity.
to Quint while you guys are... Because all this obviously happens while you're out shopping. So, Quint, you approach the dock and passing the hole from which the bushy dwarf lives in. And, shoot, I gave you guys his name, too. It was off chat. It was a pun. It was off stream. What was his name? Oh, it's going to bother me now until I remember, because I was really proud of it. It'll come.
I think we've established it's
That's
fake.
right.
That's terrible.
They're all named Fink.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was really proud of that name, too. Damn. Yeah, it'll come to me eventually.
I just think Captain
Captain
Caveman.
Caveman.
That's the only thing coming to mind.
Bless your face.
When was our last game? The 9th?
That sounds accurate. No, not the 9th. No. The 9th I was already in Portugal.
The 2nd?
The 2nd.
October
Yeah.
2nd, right? That's 5 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm in the chat. I'll figure it out. Anyway, carry on.
All right, it'll come to me. Okay, stop looking. Everything's fine. All right. Yeah. So, Quint, you get to Besmara's Pleasure after a week, but you could have sworn it'd been a couple hours at most. And you approach the deck, and the deck's empty. Not much, nothing to really say for. Just a nice, clean, polished deck. Everything's in good repair. Well,
Yeah, Quint will kind of like look up and down the dock, and then upon seeing that the deck seems empty, he will step onto it, and he's going to keep an eye out for. Right? No, I was going to say keep an eye out for the dockmaster, but nope, he's hiding in his little alcove. Things are fine. Yeah, so Quint will kind of walk onto deck, and he'll kind of stomp twice and whistle like, Owlbear, the spook.
hear like some ruffling, shuffling below deck, and like a huge crash. And after a few seconds, Dinner pops his head out from below deck, and he kind of cocks his head at you. And,
Oh. Hey, buddy, hold on a minute. I've got into the habit of carrying this around, and he kind of reaches into a pocket and he goes to grab for some like cornmeal, and he's got like the last little bits of it, and he says, "I'm running a little light, buddy. I don't think you like hagfish too much, but yeah, have fun." And he's gonna throw a little
I like
right
to
to his
imagine
feet.
that, like the cornmeal is like slimy with the hagfish.
Yes, I'd imagine it's probably been like raining off and on too, so it's like all
Yeah,
kind of
Dinner approaches
gross.
it and just pecks at the food and looks back up at you, and you swear he gestures you to follow him as he disappears below deck.
Yeah. Quinn kind of nods to himself.
That tracks.
Like something about that bird. Can't seem to quit them. And he follows.
Someday I'll eat him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get below deck, and Owlbear is down there. Actually, he's kind of chilling up against the mast, and he is refusing to meet Dinner's eyes.
Interesting. Quint will kind of speak up. He'll say, "Hey, Owlbear, from what I gather from folk around, it might have been a little bit of time since we last left. Any other folks on deck? Did we have anyone leave or get eaten in the
Owlbear looks
meantime?"
at you, and he just looks at you,
Mhm.
and then ever so softly he goes, "Ook."
I see. Well, where is he then?
Ook. Ook. And he like starts beating his chest and pointing at his mouth.
Okay, hold on. And Quint will like look and realize that there aren't many rations fully available, and he'll kind of look into the bag, and he's gonna walk real quick to the galley and chop off a piece of hagfish that maybe has some spines on it for a little bit of crunch. He looks to Owlbear and he says, "I'm sorry, buddy. I think we're gonna have to set some traps. Oh, actually, give me 2 seconds." And he's gonna go check a corner, and he finds one real super ultra rotten
Now,
half of a crab.
I hear what you're saying, but you've been off the ship for 6 days, and Albert's
Yep.
got a good sense of nose. So no,
Hell
you
yeah.
don't find
There are
it.
no crabs.
Yeah, no, he just sees these discarded shells around, and he kind of nods to himself and says, "Yeah, it's been at least, well,
You look at your
day.
shark rations, and like 2/3 of them are gone.
day and a half.
Well, hey, look at you diversifying that palate.
hear him oops
That's
softly.
something. We'll get you there. Yeah, I got some hagfish. It's very different. I think it's a bit of a textural experience. So
No,
here you go, buddy.
Slops the hagfish up and he
And,
like goes to pick it up and
yeah.
it just like flies out of his fist when he like closes it. And you see the look of like confusion on his face. And he like looks at his hand. It's like covered in slime.
Yeah.
He just like.
Ugh.
Quint will kind of move a little closer and he'll say, "Between you and me, you're always welcome to play with your food. I think that's part of the
see
experience."
his like
so
eyes widen
go
as he
all
like
out.
tastes the mucus and he like dives for the hagfish and just one solid like and it's gone. No chewing, just like opened his gullet like
Yeah.
that hagfish was a child's to his terrare.
Quint looks at the remaining hagfish and he looks in the direction through the hull of the ship of the fish shop and he's like, "Damn, I gotta go back." But then he looks to Owlbear and he's gonna start kind of walking back and forth on the deck, kind of raising his voice, and he's like, "You certain Spook ain't around, buddy? This I like to keep a bit of an inventory of our crew when we've
As you're,
been
like,
gone for a
rattling around the
week."
deck, you do hear like thumps coming from a chest.
Hmm.
Oh,
All
no.
right. Quint will point at the chest and look at Owlbear.
You see Owlbear smirk.
All right, I'm gonna open it. Okay. And he goes over and he fully opens the chest. Doesn't listen in closer. It could be a rabid animal about to eat
You
his
open up the
face.
chest, and a kobold is looking up at you.
He closes the chest. He attempts to close the chest.
Close the chest.
All right. Hey, I don't do too kindly to stowaways. I get it. This is probably a real tasty target, but I'm sad to say I'm a little low on supplies, so I think it's best you stay in there for a little while. Unless you got a name, of course.
The kobold's brain kind of. I mean, you can't see its face because it's closed inside of it. It goes, smooth brain.
Smooth brain. And Quint sits on the chest, and he's kind of like talking down to it. Are you that same fellow that propositioned us for some work?
That's smooth brain. I'm smooth brain.
I see. I understand. Right. No, I think we spoke with. I believe it was Smooth Brain Slickback. You must be just
he's
straight
smooth brain with a 6. I'm smooth brain with 2 O's.
I see. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, as I said, I don't really take too kindly to trespassers.
You signed the
so,
contract. I am on the ship.
No. I'm afraid I didn't sign any contract, my friend. Well, I'm not a betting man, but it's probably going to be at least 30, 40 minutes till the individual that signed that contract is here. And, well, as I said, our food stores are quite low. Hey, Owlbear!
Owlbear, like, ooks.
You're pretty good at holding things still, right? Perfect. Now, my friend, I take it you ended up in this chest because you were well acquainted with a good friend of mine. This friend, he's very, very talented when it comes to holding things in place. He's also very talented when it comes to eating. And as we've just discovered, well, he's pretty good at playing with his food, too. So how about we just make this real quick, if you don't mind. I'm going to open this chest, all right? And if I see you try to escape, well, oh, do love it when they run. And he's gonna
All
intimidate.
right. Oh, you are large. Oh no, you're the same size as him.
It's true. And in particular, he's intimidating him in the hopes that he will follow the given directions of not running when he opens
That's a
it.
heal, sir.
That is not intimidate. Sorry.
I intimidate with healing.
Let me try that again, shall I?
All right.
It's a
Well, you
16.
do assess that he is bruised on his head from where somebody bonked him and tossed him in a chest, and he open up the chest and the smooth brain stays there. So you don't have to worry about me wanting away, sir. This is part of the deal.
Very well. I like to take my precautions. And I gotta admit, your voice is pretty endearing. How about we hear a little more from you? Here, come, get out of that chest. Come, take a seat right here. And he gestures to like a small barrel.
Well, he hops up on top of the barrel, and he says, "What?
Firstly, why are you on this vessel currently? You seem to allude it had something to do with permission
The
provided.
employer requires that all vessels under his patronage has one of me's on it to help with locating." Yes.
Help with locating. Now, my apologies. The affect with which you speak is a little foreign to me. Were you saying you're trying to find something, or are you leaving something here?
I'm on the ship. We can find our employer. I'm off the ship. We don't know where he is. And he looks at you as if he's just like told you that the sky is blue.
Okay, well, I'll be polite. You have done my wishes, so as a result, I think we should continue this conversation with a bite to eat. And perhaps we can learn a little more before the more civilized folk make their way back.
Speaking of which, and he like kicks the barrel that he's sitting on. There's a child in here. He seems to be scared of me, so he hide.
I see. Spook.
Sir?
When there's trespassers on the ship, you're not. We'll talk about this later.
Sir,
Get
there's
out
a
of
kobold on my head. Right,
Did I
and
stutter?
he like stands up, and the kobold like goes flying as the lid gets like lifted off the barrel. So it's been a while.
Excellent. It has been. I was looking forward to this reunion, but how about you make your way to the galley, and while you're doing that, take some of this fish with you. And he kind of gestures to the pile of fish that he left in the corner that Owlbear has been inching toward. Actually, to be honest, I don't know if I could have done that, and Owlbear would have left it alone.
I just assumed you'd left it in the galley when you went and chopped off one of their heads.
You know what? You're right. That's literally what I said. Yeah. So he says, there's a bunch of fish in the galley. Get about getting them. Save, gizzards and all the fun stuff. We could use that, but just start filleting them. We're gonna have to solve this.
Captain, thank you. And he like disappears into the galley.
He like watches for a while, and you can tell like he's like thinking, like he's trying to figure out what he should do. And then he kind of looks over to the kobold, says, "All right, well, your master. You said they're missing, or rather, you got to be on the ship to see them. Sorry, your level of thought just seems to be at such a level I have such a hard time following. You'll have to slow things down for me, you see."
I don't understand why it's so hard for you to understand. You have me on the ship. We can't easily find our employer. I'm off the ship, and you have to go look for the employer.
All right. No, I think the message has been received. We do traditionally charge passage, though. Of course, I'll let the captain discuss this with you individually, but it does help if you can make yourself useful. I recommend spending the next few minutes thinking over all the ways you could make yourself worthy of taking up the space and the food
I'm
that's going to be
worthy 'cause
needed.
I can take you to the boss. Also, if
Yeah.
you kick me off
Truth
the
be
ship,
told.
you have to deal with the hordes of silver shackles.
Silver Shackle. Was Quint there when
You didn't
we
meet
met Jason?
You were told about
I've
Jason.
heard of him.
Okay, my apologies.
And yes, you were.
Silver Shackles.
He licks his eyeball
Interesting.
as you're like,
Very well. I've worked up quite the appetite, and other than the fact that you're on the ship without permission from the captain, you're making
the
it real
captain's
hard for
name's
me
in the
to.
book.
Yeah. And interestingly, I guess Quint says, yeah, there's a weird power to contract, so I'm gonna err on the side of caution for now. Make
No,
yourself
like,
comfortable.
most damn.
Think on all the ways you
I
can make
really
yourself
appreciated
useful.
that private room that you
And-
had for me. Would it be okay if and he like gestures to the chest?
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, by all means. And he
He
opens up the
hops
chest for
in.
him. He looks to Owlbear, says, "How hard did you hit him?"
Albert just
Maybe a little harder next time.
Albert goes, "Woo."
And Quint will make his way back to the galley and continue. He'll start hanging up some of the herbs and continue carving up some of the fillets, unless there's anything important I'm forgetting.
Nothing
Which
off
there
the top of my
probably
head. I
is.
think now would be a good time as you're doing your work for the crew to come back to the ship. Which means
Also, Dio, it was Harridge, like George, but with hair.
Hair
hair
hay.
hay. That's
Hair
it.
hay.
Hair
Yeah,
hay.
hair hay.
My notes say Herge, and with a parenthesis like George, but
Herge?
hair.
Hairge. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's more
Herge.
like
With
Wait a
Jorge.
minute.
Jorge. Hair
This is,
hay.
I should have known this earlier. This is in my notes. Oh well.
All right, I think I activated Bismarck's pleasure. Right, we're all here.
Yep.
I guess Quint would be down in the basement.
Yep.
So let me just.
Yeah. Well, once he hears people,
Okay.
he will actually make his way kind of back up and say, "We got a. I want to say a stowaway, but you may have lawfully accepted their presence here. But we got one of them there scaly folk, the
Smooth
kobold, something. Yeah, they said their name was Smoothbrain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their kobold seems to be some kind of clan, I guess.
That was it. Thank you. You know what's funny? I've seen them, but from a distance, and not often in any kind of social setting. Let's just say.
They lived in the towns around near where I grew up, but they were even considered lower class than us rat folk.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this one, yeah, he says his name is Smoothbrain. Different from Slickback Smoothbrain, mind you. This one has, I believe it was an incredible 2 O's in Smooth.
Oh, he didn't say that it was in smooth. He just said he had 2 O's.
Good point. 2 O's in there.
That's right. All right. So, did we get a sense of like this guy he's only been on the boat since we signed the contract effectively? Okay. Hearing that someone is on the ship, Eldon's gonna turn and go back down the ramp and go kick the dwarf's pile next to his hole. Master Dwarf, a word.
Hey, Hairgay turns to you and says, "Yeah."
Eldon's going to kind of hold up his hand and just kind of let his fingers dance with a bit of lightning going between his fingers. Say, I believe our negotiation was that while my ship was here, you weren't to allow anyone on it.
He said you signed a contract.
And yet our agreement stands. The agreement was no one on my ship for the cost of our docking fee.
See, you're trying to scab me, but Silver Shackles, far scarier.
Why is that?
The hordes. And he, like, plugs back into his hole.
No, he's grounded right now.
I mean, you can come back out and give me my money back, or I can get my ratfolk friend to throw a firebomb down there. Your choice.
He pops his head back out. Now, here's the thing.
Did I stutter?
Intimidate.
He's there. Like, I literally point at Tazik at the top of the gangplank. He's there. I'll get him.
Tazik's just gonna draw.
I literally
pistol
don't
and
have the
click
time
back
nor
to
the patience for
I love
this.
how, like, Tazik's...
So, you can give me my money or I can
Tazik's
go.
out of earshot. And you just see the captain
Yeah.
point at you, and you're like, gun?
Gun.
Yeah, gun. Pretty much.
He looks at you, looks at the rat, looks at you, looks at the rat. Intimidate, please.
Okay.
With an aid
guess,
from
damn,
the
son.
welcome, with from the rat man.
Indeed.
All right.
Even odds. Yeah, that's actually a natural 17.
With a
True, no modifier.
with the +5 passive bonus for being associated with Morgan.
Just passive intimidation.
It
bonus.
tracks.
Just see like menacing the Pillar Man
he,
theme
like,
playing.
Pops his head back out. He says, "How much was it again?"
2 silvers.
And he throws you 3, and he closes the door.
Pleasure doing business with you. Pocket the 3 silvers back up into the ship and walk over to Quint. Now, where's this stowaway? I think we need to have a little business
yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, Owlbear kept them handled pretty well, and rattled them a little bit, but they seem blissfully stupid as far as I can tell. And he points to the chest and says, "It likes the chest. It seems to want to sleep there. I think. I will mention they it sounds like they want to." Stay on the ship to find their employer. That's a rough word. And they had mentioned a hoard of silver shackles, which is a
Dwarf just said the same.
which is a
Interesting.
yeah.
All right. Well, first Eldon will kind of look over to Owlbear, give him a appreciative nod, kind of a good work nod. And then walk over and open the chest. So, smooth brain, I presume.
When you open the chest, the kobold's actually eating a sandwich that's about as big as he is. And he looks up at you and says, "Smooth brain, yes."
Many questions at the moment. First and foremost, where'd you get that sandwich?
Okay,
Where'd you get?
found it.
Found it in my storerooms?
No, in my apartment.
In the chest. You found a fresh sandwich, 2-foot long sandwich in the chest, in the empty chest.
Yeah, he looks.
Where's my
looks
sandwich?
at you. He just like licks his eyeballs and just yes.
Ellen's gonna look over at Owlbear and go, I assume Spook's there as well. Ellen's gonna look over at Owlbear and Spook and go, was there food in this chest?
Owlbear shakes his head and Spook says, "No, sir, not that I'm aware of."
Was this chest here when we left, or did he bring that with him?
The chest is here, sir.
That's what I thought. Interesting. Master Smoothbrain, next question.
Yeah, and he's just like literally just like taking like massive bites out of the sandwich, just enjoying every second of it.
I've been told you're gonna be you intend to remain on the ship,
Correct.
and that this is somehow tied to your associate Smoothbrain, who asked for nothing more than a name in a book.
Correct.
And with that in mind, you intend to stay on our ship for the duration of the job or beyond?
As long as you are employed by Silver Tackles, I will be here to locate him.
To locate him.
Yes.
I see. So, if I were interested in having a word with your employer,
Yes.
Master Silver Shackles, could you locate him at this moment?
Yes.
And if I were to ask, where might I find him?
Specifics I can't say, but direction, sure.
If you had to give me a direction.
Well, would you mind if I go to deck then?
Very well. Let's go have a look-see.
He
And I'll walk him up to
he
the
hops
deck.
out of his chest, still bringing his like massive sandwich with him. And he gets up to the deck and he gingerly places the sandwich down, looks at Dinner, and says, "Got it. I don't trust them." And Dinner just like balks appreciatively. And the kobold actually removes the cowl that he's wearing, like the same kind of robe that you saw the first Smooth Brain wearing. And on his back, there is engraved, like, it looks like a compass of some sort. And he kind of crawls up the mast a little bit and looks around and sticks kind of like one hand up into the air. And he closes his eyes, and you see the tattoo on his back begin to glow a bit. He points. He says, "That way." And he points. Hold on, let me actually open up the map here so I can.
Vaguely west.
Vaguely west is probably accurate.
Most of the Shackles is vaguely
yeah,
west.
Vaguely west. Yeah, definitely vaguely west.
All right. Interesting. And remind me, Master Smoothbrain. I assume he's kind of coming back down as he's come back down, kind of remind me again. Our task currently is to retrieve a cask of the moonshine that is right there, and point kind of up at the ruined fort on the hill.
If it's right there, sure. If it's somewhere else, we can go somewhere else. But Master wants, I believe it was a cask of Irie's moonshine.
And for the duration of the time you're with us here on our vessel, will you be taking a share of our food stores?
He looks at his sandwich and looks at you. No.
But that sandwich was in the box with you.
Correct.
Therefore, it was on my ship, in my box. Therefore, my sandwich.
He stops and he kind of ponders your question. If it was out of the box, would it be mine?
Not if you found it on my ship.
And he's kind of like, you see his brain kind of like misfire here. And again, like he's trying, like he's explaining to you that the sky is blue. as he gets off his cloak, and he gets off the mast and puts his cloak back on. He walks to his sandwich, whispers over to Dinner, and says, "You can't trust these people." And takes the sandwich and just like stuffs it up into his cloak, and it's just gone. Is it still yours?
Depends. Is it still under your cloak, or does it go somewhere else?
He lifts up his cloak, and you just see like scaly body.
Well, so long as everything you eat comes from your cloak, and you stay within your space.
It's a very, very large space for such a small little kobold. You are very, very giving. Then he like stops as he's trying to figure out the word that he wanted.
Right. you say you can locate your employer.
Yes.
Can he also locate you if he desired?
Eh?
Have you ever accompanied someone for a fetch, and your master has come looking for your employer has come looking for you or the person you
He
employed?
shakes his head. No, master's a patient man. But employer's a patient man. So you got me doing it. Turns to dinner again. What is with these people? Slavery. All this slavery. No, he gets his stuff when he gets his stuff. Takes a week, takes 2 months, takes a year. He don't care. He gets it when he gets it.
Wow. This is quite inconvenient. We've just left from there. Wish we'd known ahead of time. But, all right. You can return to your room for now, and we'll return to you shortly. Remind me, do you have a copy of my signature in your book?
He pulls lifts up his cloak, sticks his hand in there, and jumbles around for a second, and produces a book. Flips it open, and goes back and forth between a few pages, and says, "Yeah, it's you." And he points to your father's name.
That would be the signature. Let's see here. So looking at the page, does it look like there's impressions in it from where I wrote it, or does it look like it's just ink on completely
Ink
smooth
on
paper?
smooth paper.
Okay. Cool. All right. Yep. All right. Very well, sir. Well, we'll be sure to address the employer's quest as soon as we're able. For the time being, I think we need to get back out on the open water.
Hey, what's a good idea that is. Now, can I go back to my sandwich, or are you going to grill me more?
You can go back to your room and you can enjoy your sandwich.
In that order?
Preferably.
Yeah. And he kind of just walks back below deck and, presumably to his cabin, insofar as he has one.
Eldon's going to go back downstairs and walk over to kind of motion to Spook to come over. And he's going to lean right down and quietly say, Spook, find me the strongest lock we have on this ship and put it on that chest. Make sure we have a key for it, though, before you do that.
You see,
Give it Taz, we don't need a key.
Spook looks at you and very seriously nods his head, and he runs over to Owlbear and he whispers something in his ear, and Owlbear goes and sits on the chest.
Tracks.
Good thought. I appreciate your line of thinking, Spook. I'm thinking something that will help if Owlbear ever decides to get up to go relieve himself. Something a little more unalive.
Yeah, of course, sir. Just for the time being, the good luck's hard to find.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. Take your time. Find what you can find. Stay out of the coffers in the captain's quarters, but otherwise, any other lock or fixture you can find on any other of the containers in the hold, by all means, find something you can that might have a key, and we'll put it on the chest.
Aye, Captain.
All right, as you were.
Man disappears for a week,
And then,
suddenly he's all, yeah, do this, Spook, do that, Spook, fucking asshole.
What was that? Spook, you better not be back talking to
No,
Captain.
sir, never, sir. I'd never back talk the captain.
I cannot understand the fact that
Only under my breath, salty bitch.
Morgan just kind of comes around the corner. Boy!
Everyone's
quiets.
intimidated. Taz tire rats go and hide. Dinner lays an egg.
Yeah. And then Eldon will kind of quickly gather the crew, say a moment of everyone's time, and we'll hop into the captain's quarters quickly, and kind of discuss. Eldon will kind of relay everything that he saw and learned from watching the kobold and his understanding of the situation, and I'm looking to get your feel for this situation, Master Edmund, yourself as well. And you're a man of experience. I'm sure you may. Have you heard of the Silver Shackles?
No. I can't say I have. But I am quite eager to meet him. And he just starts laughing.
Yeah.
I am.
So am I.
a little fascinated myself, but for the time being, I think we'll just let him sit in the box, and we'll see how things progress. He wants a cask of the moonshine. I don't know that we want to spend another day making the trek back up there to get some from Irie, or that she has that,
Might not
or
even
that she
have a
has that
cask.
much ready at this point.
Edmund kind of stops and if contacting Irie is what you have to, it's a quicker way up to the up that way. You know, you don't have to go through town and all that.
See, now where were you 6.5 days ago?
In a hole in the ground.
I suppose that's fair. I'll turn to the rest of the crew. Thoughts? I mean, listen, if the vote is to kill the kobold, I'll kill the kobold. I really don't. I have no qualms about killing the kobold.
No, I think we're better played by grabbing a cask of that.
That was my thought as well. I'm a bit
Well,
curious to see how this develops,
Yeah.
and should it ever come to any formal contract negotiations, he doesn't have my name in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, Captain, you're starting to grow on me, and intent is very important when it comes to signed documents. You could falsify records all you want, but if it was you that signed it, well, the Chelish have a way to do that very, very well, and there's a bit of that stink to this, with all due respect.
I think we get the case or the cask of wine or of spirits, and then at least we have a bargaining chip just in case we come to issue with them.
Also, Captain, permission to purchase a few more hagfish. I'm afraid Owlbear's found, well... And he looks over to Owlbear, who's just covered in slime. Oh.
He hasn't actually eaten any other
Yeah.
catfish, but
He's still just moving the slime around. He's just hanging out in the slime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Hearing that we took a little longer than we originally thought. Seems our time in the below ground there was a bit untraditional in terms of passage of time. So I think I noticed our food stores might need a bit of bolstering before we head back out into open ocean.
Yeah.
And I mean, whatever you think is appropriate, Quint, just let me know when you've made the purchase, and we'll note it in the ledgers.
Very well. I do suggest, obviously, Mr. Oscar. If you know of a way to make it to Erie, that'll save us some time. That is ideal. I would like to take advantage of that. But if we're gonna be heading back up to that Erie, we should definitely be taking precautions in case in case time gets away from us again. The dock master.
just don't go in the hole. It'll be
you
fine.
know.
He just laughs at you, and we gotta leave dock anyway. We gotta go around the island a bit.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's. So, Quinn, if you want to grab your supplies, we'll get the rest of our. Eldon will spend a bit of time just marking up the ledgers with everything we found and all the things that we've acquired while we were there. He's still wearing the bicorn for now. Just feels right.
Makes
Feels
sense.
right for
He's
now.
Tazig's still wearing
He's
his boots of spider
bicornius.
climb.
That just flowed so well
I'm
out of those lips.
exhausted.
Yeah, Doug, you're getting listening audience, you're getting your money's worth.
Listen to the DM just ramble on uninterrupted for the next 10 minutes. Great ASMR.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's get Quint go buy some supplies, and someone go with him if you want, and then we'll mark off whatever it's going to cost to get another couple days worth of rations, and we'll head out and get around the island so that we can get to a more convenient access to Irie, and probably good to have that on our maps anyway, so we know where to go next time.
There's your kobold token, by the way.
yeah.
That
That's
is
horrifying.
hilarious.
It reminds me of the dinosaurs cartoon.
It does.
Very much
And honestly,
so.
Oh,
the
yeah.
voice is dead on for that token. I'm not gonna lie. That is bang on.
Got the
So
mama,
good.
got the mama. Just
Yeah.
starts
That
smacking
show
Eldon
had the
going,
most
"Got the captain."
disturbing ending.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the friggin' winter, right? The
Yeah.
frost, the
The
ice
Ice
age.
Age, yeah.
Jesus, that's great. I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
The show didn't end with a bang. It ended with a
Yeah.
whimper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tazik's
But yeah.
just gonna,
Sorry.
I was gonna say, Tazik's just gonna start sniffing.
Cool. I would imagine Quint can probably run to the fishmonger like very quickly. I'd imagine they're right off the dock. So he'd probably request someone with muscle come with him. And he would just be looking, firstly, to get some more hagfish, because clearly Owlbear loves it. And Quint's going to spoil Owlbear with this horrible, disgusting fish. And
It's like peanut butter, but fishy.
Oh,
precisely. And more or less, we don't have to turn this into a giant back and forth RP, but he would want to feel okay after knowing these sharks are mostly done with. So that's that. And if possible, he's going to ask the fishmonger if he has any live hagfish.
Oh, I thought I made that clear. Those hagfish were all alive.
Amazing. Okay. Wow, that's great. Okay, perfect. Nope, no further questions.
All right. Well, for the sake of expediting some things, because your boy is exhausted and it is almost 10.
Yeah,
No, it is
yeah,
10
let's-
o'clock.
it is 10 o'clock.
I can imagine you guys wrap up your quick market there, day at the market, and you take your trip to the side. And to his word, Edmund does actually show you guys up a pathway up the side of the cliff. It's old, it's carved into the stone, but saves you literally hours off the trip. And eventually you return and you guys sail off into the night. But Eldon, when you finally return to your captain's quarters, you notice something that you didn't quite see before in the middle of that meeting. Next to your bed, there is quite contained and quite neatly done. It's rather at the foot of the bed. A nest has been built, and inside that nest there is a single egg.
Interesting. Eldon's gonna kind of
Chicken.
examine it, kind of feel it. Is it warm?
Oh, it's
Is it
it's warm. It's very much a chicken egg.
okay? Interesting. And dinner's not here.
Dinner's not here.
Interesting.
I eat the egg.
We're gonna we'll leave the egg for now. We'll let the egg just sit in the nest. We'll keep an eye on that though. Eldon will kind of check it over, make sure is the nest looking kind of well padded, well warm. It looks well enough put together. The egg's not going to roll the second the ship hits a wave or anything
Right?
like that.
No, it's really well done. Like it is meticulously put together.
Well, dinner had 6.5 days, so I should hope so. Fair enough. All right. Yeah. No, that's it. I think other than that, yeah, we were just we were gonna go up to Iris, and what would it run us to buy a cask from her for the sake of having it on hand?
That's a good question. Say, well, Irie, you guys got a good rapport with her. Knowing how, let's say 5 gold.
Okay, mark it off. And how much did Quint pay for the restock on hagfish?
What was that, Quint? That was it.
So the first trip was 6 silver. Second trip, however much you want it, baby.
All right. Well, if you're buying, let's just call it a gold and a half.
Sure.
Okay.
And that giant bag of like molded into one mass rice.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Just want to mark all that off. All right. Awesome. Other than that, yeah, I guess we're good. We're just sailing off.
Into the night.
Yeah, and I think initial trajectory. Did we want to backtrack to where we saw that pillar of smoke?
Might not be a bad idea.
Just because it's kind of on our way. We got to go through that way to get to the main waterway. It's like a tile out of our way.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
call it a half-day detour to figure out what that pillar of smoke was. Now that we're less pressed for urgency, it's probably our next heading at least.
Alrighty, so let me get you guys over here. And there you go. All right, so smoke trail, right? That's where you guys are heading down on here.
Yeah, so we're gonna start heading kind of in that direction, and then through the main channel, up this kind of way, towards the because we're headed towards the volcano.
Yeah.
Way over that way. So we kind of have to head up that channel anyway to go between these islands and one of the more passable lines through the islands and through the archipelago. So yeah, that makes sense. A little half-day detour basically to get into the main channel anyway, and yeah. If that makes sense. Morgan, as the navigator, can weigh in if she disagrees, but
No, seems good to me. Sorry, I'm kind of tired too.
yeah, no, I think we're
The time change. The time change is getting to me.
Yeah.
My sleep schedule is just not.
Yeah, no, we're good. I'm going to take us off of our live show, and we'll see you guys next week. Now, next week, would I accidentally book something for Monday? I haven't seen yet if I can rebook it in my like super sleep exhausted state. I was like, oh yeah, I got nothing going on Monday.
Yeah, Mondays are tricky.
But is there any other day of the week that would work for you guys?